Hello, welcome back to another episode, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk to you about something very important today, which is safety. I'm after seeing a fella flying up the road there. It's fucking raining out now. And he had jeans on him and boots, with a t-shirt and a helmet. And I could see he had the helmet strapped at the bottom, made of fucking yokes dangling out the bottom. Well, I meant to do this video for a while, but I've some statistics here for you, right? In motorbike crashes, 67% of the time there's upper limb injuries, 47% there's lower limb injuries, 65% involve another vehicle, and they usually hit your bike on the front, which means they pull out in front of you all the time. So I always make most bikes the lights will come on standing now anyway, but and then on single, when the bike crashes on its own, well, you crash the bike on your own, alcohol plays a huge factor. I'm 44, right? When I was 22, the best mate I ever had in the whole world, Pascal was his name, Pascal Conley. He died in a motorbike crash. We went out. See, I thought we'd only 3 points, but he was after being out with another friend of ours, Paul, before he even called up to me. My oldest daughter was only a baby at the time, and me and my girlfriend used to live with my mother's, and he called up. I'll go for a pint, because I met him earlier on that day, and I hadn't seen him for a couple of months. Because of women and kids and work, and we changed jobs and stuff. We went to college together and everything, went to school together. I absolutely loved him. I'm not just saying that because he's dead now. He was actually one of them people you could not fault. He was a lovely, lovely fella. But we went down with 3 points. He was after buying a new SV650. I drove it back to the house. When I got off the bike, the mobile phones was only kind of out 2 or 3 years at the time. I says to him, give me a ring when you get home. So he checked his jacket. He did biker jacket on the whole lot. He says, fuck, I'm after forgetting the phone I left in the pub. So it's about 3 miles back to the pub, and the turn for his house only about a mile odd down the road. He bypassed the turn for his house. Now, he knew this road inside out and back to fucking front. He hit a pole. He went to go around the right-hand corner, and he didn't take the corner sharp enough, and he drifted into the ditch, hit a pole, and broke his neck. Now, he had a good RA helmet on him, which I sold him. He was supposed to be able to drive a truck across, and this would take X amount. It peeled off his head like a fucking eggshell. I went round the next day picking bits of the helmet and the bike up all over the road. So whatever way I hit the face guard, I never actually got to see the helmet, but I picked up loads of bits of the face guard, the vent off the back of it, and I still have them. A few other things, but it didn't save him anyway. But he did have all the right gear on. But drink. He had actually 6 points. I didn't know that. And I knew. I got off the bike and he got off from the back onto the front. And when he checked for the phone, he was driving off. I knew he was going to die. I tried waving him down and everything and running down the road a bit after him, but there's no way I was catching him. Anyway, this is what gear people usually wear. 76% of people wear gloves. 59 wear jackets. 37 wear boots. Only 23 wear back protection, which is, I'm guilty of it myself. Pants, trousers, whatever you want to call it, 34.9. Now, statistically, right, gear helps it a lot against road rash, taking our skin off and shit like that, obviously. But doesn't the statistics say it does, with fractures, dislocations, and sprains, and doesn't really make much difference because the leather, I suppose, you can move in it well enough too, can't you? Except for boots, especially knee-high boots. They protect your ankles and your feet, which makes sense because they're stiffer, you know what I mean? It's not like having a pair of runners on, you can wobble around all over the place. So boots are always good. I have a few tips for you. Make sure you're comfortable, because if there's something in your glove, or something's not right, or something's pinching you, your helmet's not, the straps too loose, tight, you're going to be make sure you feel 100% before you even get in the fucking bike, because you're only going to be rooting this shit all the time and everything, right? Yeah, when you're buying new gear, you see fellas, but I'm after buying this jacket last week, it fucking keeps pinching me there when I'm leaning over, or catching me in the collarbone there. I fucking thought that when you bought it, even just pretend that's the first thing I do when I put gloves on. I go to see what way they're going to look. 2 brains to be fucking twice as stupid. Yeah, that's a good one. A mate of mine told me years ago. Poncho. It was like a poncho you get at a concert or something. Just fold it up, they fold into nothing, keep it under the back seat or wherever else it'll fucking fit. Stuff it down the side of the fair. There's 101 place you can put it anyway, you know. Stash yourself. You ever stashed a few other things when you're about, you know. Check people say check your tire pressure once a week and check as much as you can. Don't say, oh, it's 7 days, I must check it now. If you feel like checking it after 2 days, check it. Especially when it's warm, cold. Brakes, lights, your indicators aren't so bad because you know straight away because you go you speed up and everything. And have a toolkit with you. Oftentimes the chain get loose and people, I'll just make it home. There's a friend of mine, he was a neighbour, he was a bit older than me, and he died, he was only 18 or 19 at the time. But his chain snapped, and the chain managed to get into the front wheel of the bike. Locked up, same as that. When he came over the top of it, he hit a pole and broke his neck as well. He didn't get to see his 20th birthday. But if the chain is loose, or aren't loose, any brake, anything, don't drive the bike. Just don't do it. Get someone to collect you, wait till you get the tools. It'll be alright till you get home. Fucking famous. That'll be the last time you say it. And when I started driving first, not bikes now, my dad says, be careful. I says, I'll be alright. He says, it's not you I'm worried about, it's everybody else that's driving. If you think someone's going to pull out in front of you, think everybody is going to pull out in front of you. See these fellas, the red light. Look, the green light, sorry. Yeah, well, look anyway. Like, you see these people and they're looking to cross the pedestrian cross, and as soon as the light goes green, they walk straight across. What if your man in the car, you're one that takes the mind off from driving for a minute? Bang! Check your fucking self. Because you ever see these women, and they push the buggy out with the child in between two cars, and then look up the road, and the buggy halfway across the fucking road already. You just feel like you're surrounded by fucking idiots. But anyway, bike safe. No drink or drugs, please. It's not worth it. You'll be dead. Makes no difference to you. The pain you'll leave behind for a lifetime for everybody else is unreal. My friend is dead 22 years. He was only alive for 22 years. And there's one day that goes past I don't think about him.